Go ahead.
Yeah, so,
The chocolates that you would find and Aunt Lou would squeal on you?
oh yeah, she always squealed on me, but I never squealed on her. I wasn't a squealer. So then she'd go off and ride the bike with Harvey, and so I didn't mind because I'd just stay home and read. So
What would you do on Sundays when you were living on Howard Place? Would all of you go to St. Joe's for mass?
oh yeah, oh yeah. Then it was different. We all
So at
hey,
that
we
point-
walked down the street. Yeah.
So Lou and Harvey were old enough, Pep would go with you?
What's that?
I said Lou and Harvey were old enough to go to church?
Oh yeah, we all went together.
So-
Oh yeah, by that time. Hey, and it was just a short distance
Right.
down the street. So, and you know, the churches weren't like today where they had all kinds of activities and stuff like that. You went to church. Oh, and then at night, you went to Vespers. That was every Sunday night. We all went to Vespers. And then we'd meet Irene and Aunt Diana and, you know, their whole gang. So our biggest treat then was to go to their house for the evening, or they'd come to our apartment.
What did the Vespers service consist of?
It was just prayers and then the adoration, you know, the exposing the Blessed Sacrament.
So it wasn't as long a service as the morning mass.
No, it wasn't a mass or anything. It was
And,
Vespers,
and
yeah.
you all got dressed up to go to mass?
Oh yeah, we dressed up to go to. Anytime we went to church, you didn't go in pajamas or anything like that. You always dressed up. And then the best part of going to Vesters is that Irene and her family came over to our house, or we went to their house.
Right.
So that was our evening where I was with Irene and Mary Jane, and Lou was with Harvey and Irene's brothers, so she was a real tomboy, so
And Aunt Irene, Aunt Diana was her mother,
yeah.
and they lived
And
over,
Uncle Joe was her father.
and they lived over on York Street by the old jail.
Yeah, right in front of the jail.
Yeah.
And when we'd go over there, some of the police would be outside, and they had apple trees. They'd give us some apples. And you know, we were very friendly with the policemen there. They were good to us, and they had there was a powerhouse next to the jail, and there was an empty lot there, and in the winter, the cops would flood that empty space, make a nice little skating rink. So we'd go there and you know, put our skates on in front of Irene's house and just walk over to the little pond.
Now, when you were living on, when you were a teenager, tell me about the Sunday afternoons at Forest Park. When you guys used
When
to,
we'd go for
you
our
used to tell me
picnics, you mean?
you'd load up your wagons and
Yeah.
you'd be walking down
Yeah,
Columbus
it would-
Avenue.
Yeah, from her house. Well, every Sunday, that was every Sunday, there was a ritual, and we always prayed for good weather so we could go to the park. So from Irene's house on York Street up to Forest Park, that was like 2 miles, where we went near Barney's estate, not Forest Park itself.
This was before Route 91 cut through.
Yes, yeah. So we'd load up wagons, you know, kids' wagon, and we were 3 families, Irene's aunt and uncle, Uncle Leo and Aunt Lydia. They would join us. We were 3 families. So we'd load up. Aunt Lydia lived near Irene and Jean. Not Jean, Irene. So we'd load up wagons, and Mem Aunt Lydia, I called her Aunt Lydia, although she was Irene's mother's sister. So we'd load up kids' wagons, and the men, Aunt Diane and Aunt Lydia, each took turns. They had a big steam pot like, fill that up with meat, potatoes, vegetables and everything, cabbage and all the vegetables. This big steamer that they'd fill with all the goodies, put that in one of the wagons, then we'd bring our plates and whatever stuff we needed. We'd bring dessert and something to drink, and there's the three families walking up with our wagons up to Forest Park. And this was on, not Central Forest Park, but, on Columbus side,
Near the Barney Estate.
Yeah, near
Right.
the Barney Estate,
Right.
yeah.
Now, did you go to King Philip's Stockade at all?
We went when I was married and we had two kids.
You started that when
yeah.
you were kids.
Yeah,
Okay.
when you were young,
Okay.
yeah. So anyway, we had tables there, and we always went up early. We'd go to early mass. We went to mass first, and then we had everything loaded up, and there we were like a parade, going up Columbus Avenue and going up to Forest Park. We looked like gypsies, no kidding. And we had a group of tables there. We had there were 3 or 4 tables. And the funny thing is, like after we got there, then other people would come and join us, some of, mainly Irene's relatives. So we were a gang up there, and we'd play games, and we'd climb trees, and then we used to have shows, and we all had to perform. We'd get up on the picnic table, and I had to get up and sing, oh, Johnny, how you can love." We all had to perform. And then a couple of Irene's aunts played instruments, the harmonica, and somebody played an accordion, and we used to have a ball, I'm telling you. And then, we played ball, and we climbed trees, and we were so dirty when it was time to leave. I'm telling you, we looked really sad. And we'd start coming home when it got dark. So, and we didn't want anybody to see us because we were so dirty and everything. So we'd come back when it was dark, and then if we stopped at Irene's house before we left to go back to Howard Place, so we'd stay there maybe for an hour, then go home. We all needed good baths.
Mem threw
believe
you
me.
all in the tub when you got home?
Huh?
Mem threw you all in the tub when you got home?
Well, not all together.
Yeah. You must have been tired come Monday morning.
Oh yeah. But that was in the summer.
In the
so,
summer, okay.
Yeah. Those are days that we treasured. No kid.
Yeah.
Irene and I, we grew up together.
Yeah.
She had her sister Mary Jane, but Mary Jane, unfortunately, she had a mental problem, and she ended up in Northampton State Hospital at the time.
What was Pep doing for a living while you were?
He was in construction when I was a kid. That we lived up on Mill Street or Rifle Street.
Right.
And then after that, when we moved down to Adam Street, he and Uncle Simeon continued with that. But then after that, when we moved to Howard Place, he got a job at the Gaslight. So he was delivering coal. At the time you had coal for heating, and sometimes if they could use a chute from the coal truck to get it into the basement.
Yeah.
That was an easy job. But other time they couldn't do that. They'd load coal in these big buckets, canvas buckets, and they had to walk to the basement and empty that. He worked hard, poor Pep.
He
too.
must have been dirty when he got home
Oh,
from
yeah.
delivering coal.
Oh, yeah, Mem had him go into the bathroom and wash, you know. Mem was so neat.
What was supper time like at on Howard Place with all five of you at the table?
Well, the men ate good.
So Uncle Simeon was still living with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
he lived with us. Oh, my God. He got married, he was well in his 40s. So he was with us from the time I was young, and I was her maid of honor.
Mm.
And Auntie Ann, she used to call me Rita Beans.
Okay. Auntie
Hello,
Ann,
Rita
yeah.
Beans.
Yeah.
I was, I was married and everything, and she'd still call me Rita Beans.
Yeah.
So she was nice, but she was Uncle Simeo's first cousin, and at the time the church frowned on cousins marrying.
Yeah.
So that's why they didn't get married while she was of a childbearing
Right.
age.
Right.
They were both well in their 40s when
Yeah.
they got married,
Yeah.
yeah. So then that was the only time Uncle Simeon wasn't with us. Anyways,
What were some of the things that Pep had to do around Howard Place?
well, it was mainly,
I know he took care of the incinerators.
he what?
He took care of the incinerators,
Oh, yeah.
the trash incinerators.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, he emptied that and had to clean the hallways. He'd dust, or he was very neat too. Wash the stairs if they needed it. If there were minor repairs, like changing a faucet, something like that, he could do that. Change light bulbs or whatever. But he was very conscientious and taking care of the furnace, because we had steam heat, so he was very good about that. But
Now, years ago in downtown Springfield, there used to be probably a dozen different movie theaters.
oh
Did
yeah,
you guys go to the movies at all when you were kids?
mm-hmm. Movies were cheap. We'd go Saturday morning. It was 10 cents, and then we'd see like 2 or 3 movies, and we were able to. Ma'am would give us some money to buy popcorn or something, and we'd spend the afternoon at the arcade.
So that would be you, Harvey, and Aunt Lou?
Yeah, they didn't always come. I'd go with Irene a
Oh,
lot,
okay.
yeah. Aunt Lou and Harvey lots of times, they were out riding the bicycle anyway, so it was really our bike, but it ended up being her bike.
Her bike, okay,
Yeah,
hold on.
yeah.